G'day guys, Mr. Bennett here. Today I'm going to be looking at addition formula, and again it's one of those things that's on your formula sheet and I don't think I can remember it from year to year. Certainly know how to use it based on the information that I've got here. So it's really just following the formula. So if you're thinking about the cosine, becomes cosine A cosine B, and that to change the sign there, and when the sign you keep the sign and it goes sine cosine. Alright, so if we're thinking about the process there, just really it's a matter of following the rules and just doing it. So we'll do a couple of quick ones, and I think you'll find it's pretty straightforward. So let's just do D. Right, we've got sine of phi plus theta. So sine, it's add, so we're going to make sure it's added in the middle. So that becomes equal to sine of phi cosine of theta plus cosine of phi sine of theta. That's it. Alright, let's do F. So we've got cosine of 2 theta take alpha. Okay, now cosine is cos sine, but it's the opposite. Okay, so that's going to be cosine of 2 theta cosine of alpha. Because it's take, it becomes plus sine of 2 theta sine of alpha. Now again, it's one of those things you don't remember the formula, you just use it from the formula sheet. Now, second part is to do the same thing again over here, is expand and simplify. So let's do part B. Right, we've got cosine of 90 plus theta. Right, now remember cosine was cosine 90 cosine theta. That's opposite, so it's take sine of 90 sine of theta. Now, thinking about cosine of 90 unit circle, we know that's actually equal to 0. And then we've got cosine of theta, doesn't really matter because that's just going to go out. Now, sine of 90 is 1 times by sine of theta. So this simplifies to be minus sine of theta based on that information there. Alright, so let's try. We'll do the sine of 2 pi take a. Alright, so let's do E. So sine of 2 pi take a. So that's going to be, again, that's going to be sine of 2 pi cosine of a. And it'll be take cosine of 2 pi times by sine of a using the addition formula. So over here we know that sine of 2 pi is equal to 0. Cosine of a, it's going to go out. We know that cosine of 2 pi is equal to 1, so it's minus times by sine of a. So again, this one here is going to work out to be equal to minus sine of a. So this is all about getting used to the formula, plugging in, playing, and you can simplify it using some of your trig ratios. Now, the next part of that will be to go back the other way. Right? So when we start looking at example 4, we need to actually be able to go back the other way. Right? So if I'm looking, say, for A, I know that's the cosine rule because it's cos, sine, sine. So therefore that's going to be equal to cosine of 2 theta. Now opposite sign means it's take theta. So therefore that's actually equal to cosine of theta. That whole expression. So that's why you'd want to simplify something like that, because that certainly makes your life a little bit easier, doesn't it? If we're looking at, say, C, obviously we've got cosine, sine. Okay, so you get the idea that that's going to be definitely going to be the sine rule. So that one there is sine. Now, normally the rule says that sine of B, like the first term, so if we go back to the formula itself, it's sine of A So it's sine, cosine B. So we should write it in that form there, otherwise we may get it wrong. So for this one here, when we're doing number C, I should write that as sine B, okay, cosine A, take cosine of B, sine of A. So that means that's going to be equal to sine of B take A. Remember, the sign doesn't change with that one. Get the idea? So that's the sort of thing that you have to be able to do using that sort of logic. Now number 5 is basically using the addition formula, but what we're going to do there is, obviously we've got our A value is really like this bit here, our B value is like this bit here. Okay, so you've got multiple values. So if I was going to do 5A, then I'd be saying cos, sine is going to be the cosine rule. And then my A value is alpha plus beta. And because it's take, it means I've got to add these two things together in the opposite. And that's going to be alpha take beta, isn't it? So therefore, that's going to be cosine. Now alpha plus alpha, beta take beta, it's going to go out. So it's going to be cosine of 2 alpha is my answer there. Alright, so addition formula is not super hard, it's just a bit tedious. Now I just want to look at this one here. We can use this a bit more, you've got to use a bit more intuition about what you're going to do here. Now if I've got cosine of 75 degrees, I'm thinking of cosine being 75 degrees might be something like 45 degrees plus 30 degrees. Now I've got to use this particular thing. I can't use my calculator to find this answer. So if I'm using my addition formula, I can go that's equal to cosine of 45 degrees, cosine of 30 degrees, and that will be take sine of 45 degrees, sine of 30 degrees. Now if I was using my unit circle, I know that cosine is equal to 1 over root 2. Right, cosine of 30 degrees, now I can't remember, I haven't got my unit circle here, so what I could do is use my unit circle over here. I'm knowing 30 degrees over here, that's going to be simply 2, it's going to be 1, and it's going to be root 3. So if I was going back to that, I know that the cosine value of 30 is equal to root 3 all over 2. Now sine of 45 degrees is 1 over root 2. Sine of 30 degrees is simply going to be a half. Okay, so what I've got here is root 3 over 2 root 2. Take 1 over 2 root 2. So that's going to give me root 3, take 1 all over 2 root 2. Now, does that look what I've got on the thing over here? I have to show it's actually equal to this value here. Oh, bugger. Alright, so I need to do some rearrangement. Keeping in fact that I've hopefully done this all correctly, then I can see what I can do here. Now I'm thinking I need to get root 2, so that one's going to become root 2. That's going. Alright, I think what I've got to do is times this whole thing by root 2 over root 2. So if I do that, then what's going to happen on the top line over here is root 3 times root 2 is going to become root 6. 1 times by root 2 is going to be minus root 2. And then the bottom line I'm going to have 2 times, now root 2 times root 2 is 2. 2 times 2 is 4. So that actually matches with what I'm expected to see there. So I'm again using my unit circle to simplify this without basically using a calculator. Keep in mind, this is a proof, it's not something you couldn't easily do in the calculator. Alright, so you'll need to have a bit of practice at using the addition formula in lots of different ways. Working through that section, you need to be able to go back and forth both ways, either using the addition formula to expand or collecting like terms using the addition formula to simplify. Alright, so make sure if you need some help that you ask.